Hey guys, Gamekeeper John here. Right, the video I put on Ask a Question. We've had loads of replies to the video and I'm going to reply to all your answers now. There's about 50 questions to reply to, so please be patient. We're going to do it all in one clip because it could take, well, if we spend a minute on each question, that's 50 minutes. So we're going to run it all in one clip as it is. I'm going to have myself a little can of beer or two, we'll answer them all. Praying that my phone don't ring so it'll edit the video. Got two little ones who've just gone up to bed because my other half's working, so there's a chance we could have children coming in or phone calls or anything could happen. Loads of blip ups through the video, but I'm going to answer them honestly in one clip and get through them as quickly as I can. So here we go, bear with me. It's also a good video this for anybody who wants to know anything about catapults. There's going to be like close to 50 questions answered to the best of my knowledge in this video. Obviously I don't know everything, but I've got a lot of experience in making and shooting, probably 20 years or so. I've won 19 tournaments, UK titles in the UK, which is more than anybody else in the UK, and I hunt regular, so from targets to hunting, from the old school from years ago to now, from making to building, designing. I've got a little bit of experience, shall we say. So let's crack on. Catty Lover says, how do you finish your catties? Well, I use spray polyurethane. Let's put it on first, nice and thick, 3 or 4 coats, raise the fibres in the wood because the multiplex soaks it up. Then repad it again with like a nice, I don't know, 400 grit, 450 grit pad, then re-polyurethane over it again, it gets rid of all the raised fibres. If I'm using natural catapults, oil is good, or again polyurethane with a rag this time to bring the grain up. That's pretty much my go-to. Obviously if it's G10, aluminium, micarta, Kironite, all that sort of stuff, finished to a very high grit, or up to 2,000-3,000, polish, bring to a mirror finish, and that's it on my finish. Right then, IQ LQ, or is it LQ LQ, has sent, okay John, brought PPSG and I don't know how to put the band on. Well, I've got loads of videos on how to band up TTF catapults, how to band up over the top catapults. Look in my O2 section, you'll see them. You have replied, somebody's replied, but there's none for the PPSG, how to band it up. I've looked. It might not be that actual catapult in my O2 videos, but I have got TTF catapults banded on video in my O2 section, and it is exactly the same as that. Right, Matthew Marsh. What would you say would be the best distance to practice shooting game-sized targets? Well, it's really depending what you want to shoot this, what the shooting's like in your area, and you know, all that sort of stuff. If you're shooting only, I don't know, not that you should, pheasants out of a tree, obviously that's wrong. You normally get them 8-10 metre close. If you're shooting rabbits by me, you can't get within 20 metre of them. Ideally, I wouldn't advise anybody to shoot game or any type of live quarry over 15 metre, because once you start doing that distance, you do risk a chance of injuring it. Although I do shoot it further, and I have, and I know plenty of people who do, and you can kill humanely. You want to, you know, make sure you can kill it right, and obviously don't even start practicing shooting at any game until you're good enough to shoot at it and put it out right with the right setup. So don't just go blasting any pigeon, squirrel or pheasant because you like shooting at game. Do it for the right reason, do it for the pot. Right then, Catapult Carnage, that's my friend Mr. Chris Graffin. Chris, of course I can give you a shout out, mate. Check out Chris Graffin's channel, it's called Catapult Carnage, or at the moment it's the 4th comment down on this video. He's got plenty of hunting, legal hunting, catapult tournament vids. He's a top shot, won plenty of silverware. He's on Team RCC, part of the BCA committee I believe. So yeah, Mr. Chris Graffin, there's your shout out. Everybody check out his channel, give him a sub, you know, good shot. Is Ferroband Pink better than Ferroband Blue or the loved Ferroband Gold? That's Leo Vano Games. Well, Ferroband Gold is pretty much your go-to. Jug Spray I've used to do a lot with the blue stuff, like obviously it's thinner so you have to layer it up more, but you know, it just sort of faded out and it never took off with anybody. The pink Ferroband Gold. I've heard of the red, the pink might be the Asda bands or the 66 fit pink flat bands. Never heard of the pink Ferroband flats to be fair, but Ferroband Gold is your go-to Ferroband. The one after that is silver. Silver's not a bad band, but you still have to cut it a little bit wider. Gold is your Ferroband one. Cheers for that question, Leo Von Games. Dry work this. Jack Thomas asked, Have you ever used a Barnett Cobra catapult? Yes, I have. I've actually got one up here. I've got a vintage one. Quickly grab it for you. This is dated to the 1985 to 1990, one of the Mark II Pro Diablos with fibre optic things on all the adjustable sights. I've actually shot it, and I probably will be shooting it in the video. It's not my cup of tea, don't get me wrong, but it's a catapult, you know, it's just not me. Let's leave it there. I do know somebody who runs the Chatsworth shoot and the Midlands Game Fair shoot called Gary Moxon. He's also a part of my team. He can shoot them with the thick Barnett tubes on, and he can hit 7 1-inch balls in a row from 8 and 10 metre. He's you know, he's hit 70s them and he's won the tournament with them. How he does it with a catapult that big and tubes which are that thick with the original Barnett pouch, which is about that long. You can tie a couple of ropes to it, jump off a building and abseil down. Well, parachute down, the pouch is that big. He can hit a 70 with them. Oh well. Right then, Brendan Murphy. Are catapults made from natural forks just as good as the manufactured catapults? I don't know what you mean as in just as good. It's pretty much 90% down to the shooter, in my opinion, what makes it shoot good. So a natural catapult and one that's had loads of time on it in the right hands can shoot as good as each other. However, a manufactured catapult can be custom made, whichever gap you want. You can have it curved with all the ergonomics around your hand. Excuse me. So yeah, are catapults, see that's an hard one. I would say yes, manufactured catapults are better, in my opinion, because you can get them to fit certain dimensions, have them tailor made, fork tip, width, perfect symmetrical. But there's people who can shoot normal natural catapults as good as anybody with a top manufactured catapult, so that's in the balance, that question. Catapult Crazy asked, what tube bands are best for 9.5 steels and 12.5 leads? Well, that's a big difference in weight. You're looking at about 3.5 gram or something for a 9.5 steel, and you're looking at 10 gram for a 12mm lead, so the lead's 3 times as heavy, so the same band set wouldn't cut it exactly. But I do know people who shoot loop 1745 for 9.5 steels sound, and I know people who shoot them with 12mm leads, so that's about your go-to. The next band up from the 1745 for the 12mm leads looped. 3-strand 1745 ideal for 12mm leads, but nobody really uses that type of attachment. Tube wise, Persuado tapers on something like I don't know. There's that many different Dankongs. It's unreal. But Dub as well, green Dub for the 12mm leads. They throw it out with a nice bit of speed. So yeah, as for tubes, 1745 would be your go-to looped for the 9.5 steels. You can even use a single Dankong band, just the next one up. The taper ones are okay, but not my cup of tea. But for the 12mm lead, Dub or something like that. Bob Jefferson, I was wondering where you get your multiplex from. It took me about 1.5 years to source this wood from many years of experience, so I ain't going to say that, but what I will say, multiplex is the German name for it, and that's where I got that from Jorg Sprave. Jorg Sprave. It is actually just a high quality birch ply, 90-95% mix, grade A. Most top timber yards will do it. You can tell when you look at it, 13 to 15 layers is about where you're going. I think mine's 14 in 18mm thick, that is. If you ask for the best grade ply that I do, it will almost certainly be the one that you want. But obviously strength check it first, and obviously safety first, never just band something up and pull it. One sec, who's next? Gary Coleman. Well, I ain't come across a question that's caught me out yet. What would you advise a complete beginner to start with? E.g. bands, slingshot and ammo. Well, as in bands, obviously you'd only be target shooting. I'd recommend something light, like single 18 or 20mm TheraBand, single 1745. And as for the ammo, 9.5 steel, because that's your go-to for the tournaments, and 80% of the lads who I know use that to want. They don't even bother with the bigger leads. So 9.5 steel is a good one. Make sure you get yourself a light set of bands. And as for the frame, ideally you'd want something where you could shoot over the top and TTF, something with universal tips. I've got a universal tip section on my website, so you can switch it easily yourself from over the top to TTF to experiment. The Scout from flipping out Slingshot's Simple Shot, that is an absolutely banging catapult for beginners, and I know a lot of experienced shooters who shoot them in comps and win with them as well. So, and it also takes a 4 kit and a battering, so the Scout is a great catapult for beginners. I always recommend that to people. Simpleshot.com you get them from, but I do also do my own universal tip ones. So yeah, thanks for that. Right then, MIH, my H, has said, how do you shoot catapults in the strong wind or cold? To be honest, it's hard. Anybody will tell you the same. In the wind, when drawing back, your bands will go and it blows the shot off. Not massively, but if you're shooting over 15 metre, you can see the shot bend off. Oh, sure, I've lost the comment. I got it. And in the cold, obviously the bands are slower, so it drops more, so you need to aim higher. But I switch setups. I do. I can get through the cold fine. I shoot something like Ferroband Gold single 27 to 22mm through the summer. Pardon me. As soon as autumn comes and it starts dropping cold, or just before the beginning of winter, I'll switch that up to something like a 32-25 or something. And then just as it's getting cold, my band's going a little bit faster, so I sort of shoot the same all year round, if you know what I mean. Obviously my draw weight gets a little bit heavier, but as for my elevation and the dropping off, it sort of shoots the same for me, so I can give or take a bit, if you know what I mean. Same as I do the same with different batches of Ferroband. Some come slightly thicker or thinner. I cut my Ferroband to adjust, so I'm always shooting consistently. As for the wind, there's nothing anybody can do about the wind. As for getting better in the wind, pack up, wait for the wind to stop and come back and have a crack another day. That's what I'd say about that. Right then, next question is Tuba, T-O space B-A. Do you ever kill the dove in the UK? I think that means, have you ever killed a dove in the UK? Personally, no, because I've got no use for them. You know, I couldn't eat them. Now, well, I've recently had ferrets over the last 4 or 5 months, so probably now, yes I would, because it wouldn't go to waste. But there's nothing illegal about shooting collared doves. You can shoot them, you know, the pest bird and that. Been out shooting with people on field sports and that. They've been taking them with the rifles and stuff. Totally legal. It's just I've never done it because there's been no reason. I wouldn't eat a collared dove, so no, but probably would from now for the ferrets at least. Gerard O.C. How many Smarties does it take to fill Wembley? Merry Christmas to all, laugh out loud. I don't know, how many Smarties would it take to fill Wembley? It depends if I'm in there or not, because it wouldn't never get filled up the way I eat them. Scoff the lot. Right then. Hi John again, this is Ed La Bouchardari. Ed La Bouchardari. Hi John, can you please recommend a good strong catapult for target practice and hunting? That's impossible to answer really, because I don't know if you like small forks, big forks, TTF, over the top. So if you want to comment on your comment, tell me what sort of frame and stuff you're into, then I might be able to do a follow up to that, but without me knowing, you're a total beginner from what I can gather. So you want something, like I said earlier, over the top TTF, but you want a good set of bands on if it's for hunting. What is the average distance? Well, Duncan M says, what is the average distance that you shoot game at? Obviously asking me the question. Average. That stuff, 7-8 metre. I do a lot. I do loads 12 to 13, do 15-16 metre, up to 18-20 metre. I've even done some stupid far shots. You can probably see them in my hunting videos where you're talking 25-30 metre headshots. But the average, I'd say the average is in between 12 and 15 metre. It's a nice comfortable distance. You know you're going to hit the head, not the body. But I have gone a lot further, 2 or 3 times as far. But 12 to 15 metre is about the best. That was from Duncan M, that question. Well, so far we're about halfway through the questions and I haven't been disturbed once. 2 little ones have been good. So, happy days. No phone calls, no battery cut-offs, no memory cards filled, no falling off my chair, no stumbling. So we're doing good. Ruben Matthews has said, what's the best set of bands for hunting? Again, can't answer that. You need to match your bands to your ammo. So I can tell you what the best set of bands would be for 9.5 steel, but that's only what I think. At the moment I'm shooting about 32-25s because they kill. But that's for 9.5 steel. If I was shooting leads, I might even chuck some doubles on. If I was shooting big 16mm leads, I'd want some wide doubles. And a lot of people will say as well, let me just read that question, what's the best bands fronting? A lot of people like tubes because, although it kills me to say it, tubes do perform a bit better in the cold weather, and they're also a lot quieter. So I'm not saying anybody should be shooting where they shouldn't be, or that you don't want to get spotted, but if you want that little bit of stealth, tubes are quieter. So that's open. But yeah, for me personally, single ferrobound, a nice wideish taper with 9.5 steels. If you hit it in the edge, you will drop it. So happy days. What tube elastic do you use and why? I'm not a tube person. The tube elastics I have used, I'm going back old school now. I used to shoot a natural with a Barnett Black Widow bands on. I used to shoot tubes all the time, the big thick orange and red ones. Both the same tube, just different colours to match the Cobra and the Black Widow. Used to shoot them with marbles, very light ammo, big tubes. Oh dear. Used to shoot them with pebbles and used to have some great success. They used to take like 500 shots to break in. That's like, bands don't even last that many shots now before they break. I've had some great success with the old Barnett tubes. I have shot looped 1745 a few times. You know, I'll have a play and a shoot with most tubes, but I'm not a tube person. I just like the flats. I like the freedom of them and the easy draw, and it suits me anyway. I'm not saying they're better than tubes, but they are. Nah, joking. But I think they are, but it's horses for courses, and it's a lot of the lads swear by tubes. And again, going back to the competition side of thing, I've seen people hit maximums, take bullseyes out, 10 shots in a row with tubes. I've seen them do it with flats, so obviously none's better than the other. It is preference, but me personally, tubes work better. Hi John, I've noticed you've got catapult tattoos, can you show me what they are? Well, I've got a couple. We've got one this side, wouldn't sugar that in it. Got one this side, which a lot of people say it's me, Bulldog, and we got this big one I recently had done. See if I can stand up and show you that. It's a bit awkward. You see him shooting that catapult. It's a country scene, and then around the background here, it's a bit awkward to show you. We have pheasants sat up in the trees, and it comes all the way around. It's a bit awkward to show you, but you see him with his catapult. Jack Pike bag, hoodie up, and obviously that's my daughter's name there. So they're my two catapult ones. So there you go, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be shooting pheasants out of trees. Shouldn't be doing that. It's not good. And that was from, hold on, I forgot to say who asked the questions. The question that was asked with what tube elastic to use and why, his username was Knob Cheese. Now, a question from John Vary. Would you make a video of finding and making oversized forks? I actually have got some from years and years ago. I used to do loads of fork hunting videos when I had more time on my hands. Unfortunately I haven't now, but yeah, I've got on my corkboard there I've got a list of videos to do, and there's there's 15 videos to do on there now, and new stuff coming all the time to do, so I will be getting through them. It's just absolutely chocker. Orders are silly, and I'm busy, and I'll get them done as and when I can. So John Farrig, yes, and there is a video on there similar to that. Anyway, it's carving from oversized, so we'll get that one done soon as. James and Ben, hi John, can you give my channel a shout out please? I've got a good review of the PPSG on there as well. James and Ben, that's how it spells, James space and space Ben. And apparently there's a video of the PPSG on there, so I'll have a look at that myself in a bit, lads. Check the channel out, everybody else. The Gypsy Poacher says, is there any other type of flat bands apart from ferrobands? Oh, it goes on, there's the old latex. Well, not the old latex, it's just not the new black latex. You've got the clear ones, 03, 04. You've got the old gum rubber, you've got the new black latex in now. You can get Argos bands. Funny enough, from Argos, you can get them from Tesco, from Asda. Obviously you got all the ferrobands, you got all the Rylan, which is good flat band, 66 fit. There's that many. All you got to do is look on eBay or Google, type in exercise resistant bands, and to be fair, provided you don't get the thin stuff, they're all as good as each other in my eyes. I've killed with pretty much every type there is. It's a lot of it's up here, people arguing and kicking off over getting an extra 2 or 3 FPS or an extra 20 shots out of a band life. You know, they all pretty much do the same. Don't get me wrong, you get the odd 1 or 2 crap ones that have a dead spot or ain't the best, but 80-90% of them, they're just all as good as each other. It's just, you know, a lot of it's in people's heads. That was from the Gypsy Poacher, that one. Western Hunters, this question is from. I'm only having a couple today as well because I've got nothing to do tomorrow, because it's my 30th birthday tomorrow. I don't know what's happening, but there's some sort of surprise happening, so we'll see. Don't know what it is. Yeah, so that's why I'm having a few tonight, because I think I've got a day off tomorrow, so happy days. Western Hunter says, what's the best combination of steel to use for single or double band, and what would you recommend for rabbits? See, this is another question about bands to ammo. I think I'm going to actually not, well, I'm going to quickly make a note now. Where's that pen? Because there's a lot of questions about ratio for bands to ammo. Just write this on my pad. Questions popped up so many times. There is no right or wrong. People use this, use that, but I've got a selection of all tubes and bands and stuff here. Well, mainly flat bands, but I can get some tubes to do the video. And I'll explain what's too heavy for certain bands, what's too light for some bands, and I'll do a video. Then obviously that'll be the go-to video if you want to match your bands with your ammo. You can find some to match rocks to, what pouches to use, and all sorts. So any other questions about bands and ammo, matching them, stay tuned. I'll have a video up as soon as possible and show everybody the right, or it might not exactly be what everybody else agrees with, but it'll be roughly a guideline to follow. Obviously what's too light for certain stuff, what's too heavy for certain stuff, and all that. So yeah, I will sort that out. Can't be far from the end of these messages now. Josh Abbey, what was your first catapult? Although I don't remember this, I've spoke to my dad about it numerous times. I can remember shooting from about the age of 11 or 12 when I was on naturals and even the Black Widow and stuff. Then even little homemade things I've done. It's like 19 years ago that now, Jesus. But my dad told me one of the first things he ever made me was a traditional ash cup. You know, the U-12. I think I've got some in here. Well, there's a couple hanging up there. There's a little one on there. It's basically an ash fork, grows in the U, and I think he said he made it me about 5 or 6 years old, and he said even at that age, that's going back 25 years now, I was driving around in the van around the lanes and stuff, and I was even trying to take shots at rabbits and pigeons and stuff there, and obviously wasn't no good, and I'd never recommend anybody that age now to go and shoot at games. She could injure it, but yeah. And I think I got my first kill about 9 or 10 years old, probably not even that. I remember him saying you used to do this, you took a pheasant here and then you had this pigeon here. It's like 9 or 10 years old and doing stuff obviously nowhere near like I'm shooting now, and there's 9 or 10 year olds who are shooting now like I was then, if you know what I mean. But I was eager and I was out doing a bit and I got a few rewards. So Josh Abbey, that was from Exo. Tic Tac has sent me this. What's the best Ferroband elastic? Well, if you're talking just Ferroband, it's got to be Ferroband Gold. There's other good flat bands out there, there's other good tubes out there, but if you're asking what's the best Ferroband, in my eyes, it's got a bit of gold really. Right then, that was from Exo Tic Tac. Simon H sent me a message. Have you and ProShot got any plans to make frames with quick change tube slots? It's funny you should say that, because I've actually got one in the process. As I said in my other video, me and Pete have come together for some collaborations on his website. We're going to have a complete Gamekeeper Catapult section on there, subsection, all commission stuff. So we've sorted something out between ourselves, so we all see fair. Nobody's ripping anybody off. Everything's labelled, numbered, and we get our cut basically. And there'll be loop tube stuff on there without a shadow of a doubt. There's already loads of stuff on there. PPSG, PPMG, some of the most popular stuff on the planet. We've also got an over the top one from Pete with loop tubes. Actually, got one here, funny enough. If you're into your pocket purchase, I've got all the number ones in there. But this is my little man cave office anyway. We got these. PPMG, they all come signed them themselves. They're all numbered. Obviously I've got number 1 in everything. I've got all the SGs in brass, bronze and alley, all the MGs. I've even got the brass and the bronze one coming to these before the new ones. But that's pretty much the only one we do now. And it's comfy. So yeah, we got other stuff. There will be more stuff. So there you go. And that was from Simon H. The next one is Peter Grant. Do you recommend Barnett slingshots? I've got to recommend them. Barnett slingshots are arguably the most mass-produced thing that the UK has ever seen. Possibly the Milbro, but the Milbro was a bit old school. Both did the job. You go in any sports shop now, anything, all over the world, it's all Barnett, Barnett, Barnett. They'll do the job. I'm not going to slag Barnett off because they're great, but you would be much better, in my opinion, with no digs or anything against Barnett, because they are good. It's where I started with air tubes and stuff. Like, I used to shoot Barnetts and Black Widows and stuff, and even the elastics, like I said earlier. But how do you say about? They will last you a lifetime. The tubes are good. They'll fit, but you are better off looking on eBay or websites and picking yourself something from a respected maker, like, I don't know, Dankung, Pro Shot Catapults, Simple Shot. You know, there's loads. Aurum, Tim Aurum, he's catapults. There's loads, you know what I mean? There's loads. There's loads of dangerous and unsafe ones about with loads of rough edges, like them cheap Chinese ones, or Bloodshot catapults, or Stone Spear, or Renovate Leather on eBay and all them. He does some absolutely shockingly rough stuff. You know, cut your band, stay away from them, and the snap. But there is some, you know. Have a look around, read reviews. The reading reviews is the main thing. You are better getting a good one from a normal maker, should I say, or not so much mass produced, but one from people actually shoot the catapults and do well with them and use them and understand what the customer wants. So yeah, Barnett slingshots are good, but I'd never advise any beginners to go out and get that as the first one, because I think there's a lot more on offer which would benefit the shooter and the newbie more than going out and getting the Black Widow, if that makes sense. And that was from Peter Grant. Leon Saunders. How come your aluminium slingshots aren't on the website? That's because I no longer sell them myself. I sell them through Pro Shot Catapult's website. Excuse me. And like I said earlier, we're having our section on there. I get commission off them. It's just more easier for somebody to. It's more easier for Pete to ship them, and him sort me out, than me buying them off him and selling them. Because then they have to come from me to him to the customer. I'm waiting for him. You're waiting for me, and I earn my bit of profit on buying them, should we say? But it's easier for you to order off Pete. Pete ship it straight away. And then I still get my bit of profit, and it just saves, you know, nobody wants to be a middleman today. You just, plus I don't have to order them in or sell them or post them. I've got nothing to do with it now. Once he gets the pattern, I'm done. So that's the reason why. And that was from Leon Saunders. Michael and Lewis Corson sent this one. Can you shoot wood pigeons off the roost with a lamp on public footpath? Roosting any type of birds is illegal. There are a couple of loopholes to roosting things, but dig deep onto Google and go for it, because there's no rules on catapults and stuff as well. It's weird, and there's hours before dark and that when you can't roost, and then there's the argument whether your car headlights would be a lamp or not. And, you know, but if you're going to roost anything, which you shouldn't really, do it by moonlight, because it's a lot easier, to be fair. If you've got a bright moon behind, it's like casting the shadow that stand out like a sore thumb. If you put a torch in the tree, you tend just to light up the bottom branches. So moonlight, in my opinion, I spot a lot more, providing the moon's right. And that was from Michael and Lewis Corson. I'll check your channel out in a bit, lads, if it's a coursing channel as well. Henry Nicholson has said, what is the best tip for hunting small game with a catapult, and how are you so successful with your hunting? Well, why am I so successful? Well, there's a number of factors in there. One, I've been shooting a long time, and I'd class myself as an half decent shot. I know what I'm doing. Two, location. I know where to go if I want some pheasants. I know where to go if I want some rabbits. I know which woods to go up if I want squirrels and pigeons. I've got stuff dotted all around, which I think, you know, that's where they are. And two, using the right setup. make sure you're going to kill if you hit it. Obviously not bands too light, not bands too hard, so it's like being a good shot, bit of experience and getting the location right and having the right setup. If you can master all three of them, jobs are good, isn't it? Being successful is another thing. It's like you could go for miles and miles and months around the countryside after pheasants, not shoot one, and you could land somewhere where there's a lot and take a load. Same as, it's like, for example, now I struggle like hell where I am in North Wales to get wood pigeons. Last time I shot a wood pigeon was probably 4 or 5 months ago, if not 6 months ago. Cannot shoot them, can't get near them, can't get within 30-40 metre of the gun, whether that be at night with a lamp or daytime with a torch. They're just gone. Now, when I went to a catapult tournament in Andover near Oxford, we went for a little walk one of the Sundays or the Saturdays after the shoot a couple of times, and there was pigeons on every branch. I could practically touch them like that, and I was like, I've never seen pigeons this close. I didn't shoot any because obviously it was a bit busy and I shouldn't really have been shooting where I was anyway. It was a walk with the missus and little one after the shoot, but I could have probably shot in between 15 and 20 pigeons within 15 to 20 minutes because it was like, it was ridiculous. Honestly, that was everywhere. So location is key when it comes to hunting. It's like a lot of lads say they struggle with rabbits. Now I've got a place by me, obviously I can't mention no names, where you could go up there now and you could just bag 5 or 6 rabbits one after another with a catapult. It's a bit harder now because obviously all the rabbits left from the summer are all older and clever and they've been thinned out, but you've probably seen it on my videos. We've done some drives and within 10 minutes we like got 6 or 7 rabbits in the boot, all headshots. So the location is key for that question. Henry Nicholson, being a good shot and having a setup that kills. Stu, his question was, John, what is your true opinion on the black latex? Is it worth buying or should we all stick with a good old Ferroband Gold? Well, the latex is new stuff at the moment, so obviously there's going to be a lot of hype about it. Like there was a lot of hype when the other latex come out. Like there was a lot of hype when Dankung brought tubes out. And there's a lot of hype, but after all the hype of all the other stuff, 95% of everybody has always gone back to the Ferroband. Will it be the same from this one? I don't know. And while we're on about it, I'm nowhere, I'm in testing process myself. This is my second band set. As for band set wise, the first one I didn't measure anything or count anything, so I can't say it was shorter or longer. It lasted me 6 days I had it on, and I did shoot it a lot, and that's not normal for a band set to break that quick by me at any means. I shoot a lot and I get through a band set, a Ferroband Gold band set every week or two, and I shot this one more probably to test it, so it seemed to last for me give or take a bit the same as Ferroband. If you look on my Facebook pages and my Facebook page, which is Gamekeeper John, I've took probably 10 bits of game with it since having a week of trying it, and I've used it for targets. It's good, and I like the blackness of it because when you draw back, if you've got a dark or a black top on, as you can see, it slivers down the sleeve and nobody can see what you're shooting, and I like to be discreet some of the places I shoot. As for speed and power, I put it up, I went live on my Gamekeeper John page and I shot it, started going to can live, shot 30-40 shots off, and all as I was thinking, I was pulling back, shooting, boom. I couldn't tell no difference in the draw weight to Ferroband Gold. I couldn't tell no difference in the power, it seemed about the same, and so far I can't tell a lot of difference in the band life. So for me, it's looking, give or take a bit, about on par for Ferroband Gold. I'm still testing it. My only concern is it's a damn lot harder to get hold of than Ferroband Gold, and you have to wait a lot longer to get it, especially here in the UK. And so far I don't think it's worth the extra hassle for me to switch from Ferroband Gold. If you know what I mean, I can get it cheap, I can get it in the day, next day delivery, and I can get it in bulk for pennies. This is good elastic, and my favourite flat band at the moment is either this or Ferroband Gold, but I don't see the benefits of the extra price, the extra waiting time, and possibly a customs charge as well when you get it. If it becomes readily available over in the UK and it's as cheap as Ferroband in the big bulk rolls, then maybe more. Well, maybe I might use it more, but it definitely, in my opinion, so far, I don't see any advantages from Ferroband Gold. But I don't see any disadvantages either. It's a good elastic. I'm not going to diss it. It is a good elastic, but I think after this set's gone I might try another one. Then I think personally I'll be back on the Ferroband Gold. I just trust it. I've used it for half a decade, 5 years. I've trusted it. I'd put my life on it. I know I'd kill with it. This stuff does the job. I've killed with it. Time will tell. Is it all hype? Is it a fad like all the other stuff, or will it stay and take over? Personally, I think all the lads are over in the UK will be back on Ferroband Gold within a few weeks. But who knows? It is a good elastic though. I'm not going to diss it. It's not a bad elastic at all. So then, kind of getting to the end of this list. I'm going to quickly read this one. And that last question was from Stu. This one is Ballymahon Doyle Boy. What's better, flats or tubes? That's like the can of worms question that's been going across on forums and groups for decades, and every time it's posted there's just so many arguments and stuff, so I'm not answering that. If I had to pick one, if I had to answer it from my point of view, nobody else's, I'd say flats are better all day long. Lighter draw weight, they've got more freedom, they're easy to cut to exactly how you want them, so you can pick where you want it, 23, 24, 25, 26mm. You don't have to buy certain sizes. But tubes last long, they're quiet, and I've seen people shoot the same as flats from them, so everyone's got the pros and cons. Tubes are a bit better in the cold weather because they don't get as cold as quick because they're less area to get cold. But on the plus side, obviously Ferroband and the flat bands get colder quicker in the colder months, so they have, well, they're slower basically, more drop off and stuff. But in the summer it's the other way around, the Ferroband warms up quicker and doesn't get cold as quick, so you know, it's one of them, innit? Horses for courses, but for me, definitely flats. Avoid them tubes at all costs. Nah, it's 50-50, but flats for me. David Emmanuel Segundo Rubio. Jesus, nice name. Why is the energy required to you mainly kill a squirrel? What ammo weight do you think is sufficient, and at what speed? Thanks again. Squirrels take some killing. See, this is a hard one because I've killed them with single bands and 9.5 steel outright, and I've smashed them in the head, and know many lads who have smashed them in the head with double bands and 12mm lead, and you know they'll get away. Basically, you want a ball travelling, I would say 210 to 230 FPS, if not more. Excuse me, and you want to kill it in the side of the head. If they're face on, you've had them skim off and stuff. Not nice, you don't want to injure stuff. Same with the backs here. You want them square on like that. I'm a squirrel. Get it. That's where you want them. Same as with any bird or rabbit, side on is the way in my opinion. Sometimes if they've got the back tune, you can hit them straight in the back of the nut. You can get some really good kills like that, but you've got to make sure you don't hit the back. You just drop it below the ears and some great kills. But the energy required. Foot-pound we're talking. See, everybody disagrees on this, but I've took stuff with as little as 4.5 foot-pound, and I've hit stuff with up to 10 foot-pound of power, 12 foot-pound, getting up towards 20 foot-pound with the 12mm leads and the massive bands, and I've still had runners. So it ain't really about the foot-pound in my opinion, it's more about putting it in the right place from the right angle. Well, I would say, as a guess, you want to be going 4 foot-pound or over for anything, but that's like, I wouldn't go much lower than that. Stuff like pigeons and pheasants, they've only got a tiny thin skull as opposed to squirrels and rabbits, and you can twat them in the side of the head and they'll go down with nothing. Literally the skull's like paper thin, just like, get out. But yeah. Right then, Paul Ryan Stewart. Hi Gamekeeper John, Paul from Northern Ireland here, was wondering, do you get your 9.5 steel bearings from eBay? I would also like to hear your thoughts on the Black Widow. Well, I've already just gone on about the Barnets and the Black Widows and that, so there's no point me going back into that one. I get mine from somebody called Skipman, very popular in the catapult world, runs the shoots, founder of pretty much the UK Catapult Association. He gets a good price, good clean balls next day delivery. Check out the groups, check out UK Catapult Association on Facebook. They've got UKCA Catimart, UKCA Shot of the Month, UKCA Catty Group. They've got a UKCA page. Go on any of them groups and just ask for Ian Jones I need some balls, or Skipman is what he's known as, but he's Ian Jones on Facebook. He's your man for you balls. He'll sort you stupid prices, and I mean extremely stupid prices. He'll make eBay look stupid, and it's good service. So get in touch with him. And he don't just do 9.5s; I do all sizes. But he's the man I get my balls off. Top man, knew him for years. Art of gold, good service, and he's got good balls. Chuckles, I'm the fourth comment. Well, highlight of his day being the fourth comment on one of my videos. Oh dear. Right then, Karim Lee. When I cut my bands, I always end up having to put all my weight on the rotary cutter. If I don't, I end up with band cuts resulting in short band life. What should I do to get clean cuts on my bands? Right then, this is another something I'm going to do. A lot of people, I don't do it, actually do use, well, cutting mat is the main thing. You use a self-healing cutting mat. Just get my rotary cutter, because I might be able to answer this one straight away. First of all, you need a self-healing cutting mat. It's a bit grippy. You need sharp blade in this. Some people actually sellotape the bands down. What type of ruler do you use? Do you use a fat plastic one, or something like this with a groove in? One, it's safety, so you don't come over it, and two, you can get a much better purchase on a metal ruler. Make sure the cutting area that you are cutting on is extremely flat. You don't want it the slightest little bump. If you've got a little bump like that, you'll have a little point where you're not pushing on the ferroband and it will move. And this is one that got me for ages as well. Oh sugar, there goes my phone. When you're cutting, push down. Yeah, what I used to do was push across. What you do is you cause a little ripple effect on the ferroband like that, and you can push it over and push it over. So don't push across, push down when you cut it, and it pins it in place, as well as pushing down with a ruler, a good metal ruler, because if a plastic ruler is doing it and you only push it in the middle, it will bend up at the ends when you're cutting. It won't have it. So spread your fingers, push down flat with a good ruler on a good surface with a good blade, a good flat surface, and push down, not across, and that should save everything. If you're still struggling, then put a little bit of sellotape each end of your ferroband and do it that way. And well, there's a few little tips there. That should pretty much eliminate why it's not cutting properly. As for short band life, oh, I've lost the post now. Excuse me, gents. There we go, I got it. Yeah, short band life. Short band life could be a lot of things. If the bands look like they're cut good and wrong, well, that could be because you're shooting ammo that's too light. You're using a blunt blade, and you're getting a few little pricks, little dimps. You know what I mean? So yeah. So if you want to do a follow-up comment on that comment, let me know what band cut you're using and what ammo, and exactly what you're using to cut, or we might be able to work it out from there. But for what I've just said, give or take a bit, that's, you know, the way to roll. What should I do to get clean cuts on my bands? Yeah, sharp blade, flat surface, pin it down properly, and that's it. That was from Karim Lel. This one is from Ed Boucharderi. Excuse me if I pronounced it wrong. Hi again, John. I am not sure what is the catapult hunting season. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Well, that name doesn't sound UK to me. It sounds a bit French, but in the UK I only look for one season, which is pheasants. That's all I do what has a season really, and that's the 1st of October to the 1st of February. Partridge, grouse, duck, snipe, woodcock, they all have a season, but the majority of game, rabbits, pigeons, squirrels, they don't have a season, at least here in the UK. So if you're in the UK, them three do not have a season: rabbit, squirrel and pigeon. The one that most of the lads shoot are pheasants. That's the 1st of October to the 1st of February. But obviously, check your laws. Obviously, even though pheasants don't have a season, you can't just walk into somebody's private estate and start blasting them just because it's in season. So you need to check that. If you're a bit unsure, I've posted a video not long ago called The Law on Catapults, and that will cover a lot of the stuff about where you do and where you don't. So, you know, but I'd like again, that one, like your name sounds a little bit French to me, or definitely not from the UK. So if you want to do a follow-up comment on your comment, let me know what country you're from, and it's going to be easier that way. And that was from Ed La Boucherie. I'm sure that's French. I need to learn that. Right then, Adam Dalton says, "Hi John, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Have you ever thought about having a Gamekeeper John camp, i.e. 2 to 3 days workshop for all different things that you teach on your channel? Different camps, different stuff and shoots and that." Well, can't say I've thought of anything like that. It's obviously crossed my mind, but along with a load of other reasons, I decided to come off the UK Catapult Association committee, which I've been on for 4 years, which was a big part of my art, to be fair, putting the shoots on and stuff, but I decided it was my time to move on to do my own thing with my business name and company and that now. And nothing was ever thought of, and I don't plan on doing anything really soon, but there's always things that I want to do, maybe some meets and some of this and do stuff. So that's why one of many reasons why I'll come off that committee, because I just wanted to go my own way, as well as you know, I was too busy and I want to concentrate on my stuff and everything. I was just spending a lot of time on there. So although not exactly what you've said, I have thought about doing things at meets and people coming and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, who knows what the future holds. I've got that much stuff and routes to go down now. I'm out filming with some absolutely massive programs soon. My YouTube channel's booming, and I'm up to my eyes and I don't know which way to go. I could probably stop making catapults and do okay from videos and other stuff and commission based stuff. I honestly think I could earn a wage now without actually making any catapults, but it's not the way I want to go yet. That's for the future, never stop it, but the way I'm going, I think it'll all be changing soon. I'll be hosting things and doing stuff and commission based stuff and revenues, and that's the way I'm doing. So yeah, that's one for the future, definitely the way I want to go. And that was from Catapult Carnage, my mate Mr. Chris Graffin. I'll give him a mention again. Check him out, good YouTube channel, good lad, Catapult Carnage. Good shots, good hunting, good target shots. And he said, "Do you believe some styles are better than others? If so, please elaborate." Well, go back a year, 18 months, and I used to put stuff on our web grip on this and low forks definitely make you a better shot and all that. Comment after comment, absolute bollocks basically, I ain't gonna lie to you, balls. People were saying, "Oh, it's the Indian, not the arrow, it's this, that, the other," and I put a comment on, "No, but every Indian's got a preferred arrow." And I used to say that some frames was better at shooting than others because of the way I was built, the way I fit in the hand, the less recoil, the band's right and that. And now, a lot of people are saying across a lot of groups that some of these frames are a lot better, and everybody's agreeing now. When I said this ages ago. But at the same time, some people can shoot any frame to a decent standard. So Chris, you put me on the spot there, but from my point of view, I think some styles are a lot better than others, especially some frames. TTF are over the top. Well, not that you've said that, you're saying styles, so I'm thinking style could be anything from TTF, OTT, pouch release, elbow up, elbow down, twist, not twist, flip, don't flip, drop your arm, don't drop your arm, hold for this long, don't hold for that long. There's so many little fine details, but yeah, without a doubt some styles are better than others, and if catapults are going in the direction that they're going in now and keep going, look at everything else. Like, you look at the stuff that's world class sports now, which are recognised, like, I don't know, any type of shooting sports, the top style always rises to the top. When you get stuff like at the Olympics or televised or world championships, everybody seems to shoot this one style because it's the best. And catapults aren't that far forward yet, so everybody's experimenting. Some say this, some say that, but I do think give it another 3, 4, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, there will be a style that does prove itself to be better, and everybody will be shooting it and practicing it. It's obviously reference point, anchor point and aim is the way to go. Instinctive's no good. Floating anchor points, I don't like floating anchor points moving around here. You've got to have a fixed anchor, fixed sight and a certain style, and then we'll see. But yeah, I do think some styles are better than others, mate, without a doubt. Well, I'm here, check out the Facebook page as well. Just type Gamekeeper John into Facebook, give us a like. Most followed catapult page on Facebook, and although we only upload to YouTube every week or every couple of weeks because we're just too busy because obviously other things. The Facebook page gets a lot of updates, a lot of little quick videos which aren't good enough to put on YouTube basically, pictures and all of the little things, so give the Facebook page a like and follow us on there. It's called Gamekeeper John, you'll see it. Right then, Christopher Harland. If you want to get permission to hunt in fields in the UK, how do you find out who owns the land to get permission? How do you find out? Well, when we get our permission, I'm lucky enough to know a few farmers and be pretty popular from filming on field spots and knowing names and being introduced to people. Also, we keep horses, and we've moved horses from different sites to sites and different farmers' fields, so we get in touch with them like that. But to actually know, on the mooch, if you see the farmer in his field, there's no harm going up and asking. Obviously, you can get public footways through. But ask, never just go on. Obviously, you could knock on the farmer's door. I'll never recommend turning up to a farm, knocking the door and saying, can I have permission, especially with a catapult, because as many as good lads are out there, they do get frowned upon. What we do for ferreting permission, obviously we got a lot of permission anyway. We get little business cards done, or basically little cut-offs, laminate them so they don't get wet. We just cable tie them on the farmer's gates with a phone number saying, I think you've got a rabbit problem, or could we have permission to do this or that, and if they don't get back to you, you don't go there, but you'd be surprised, excuse me, how many do get back. So a little note or a little business card on the fence, the access to where you want to go, always goes well. Ask people who work anything in the country, farms, some gardeners on the farms, you could ask them to ask them. People who sell like quad bikes and stuff, ask them. People who ferret, you know, farmers itself, if you're lucky enough to know anybody. So yeah, there's loads of ways, but we like to leave a little note on. Well, we got these little business cards, only like business card size, what we got laminated, and they've got the phone number on, what we do, North Wales ferreting or whatever, something like that from what we do. You know, if you want a job done, contact us, but you know, permission is hard to get these days, very hard to get, because not a lot of people want you on the land, especially with livestock, and the moment they hear catapults, it's like ding ding, the alarm bells ring, and I don't want you there. So you gotta, you know, impress and get on, but there's ways to do it. Just ask around, leave notes, be polite, be well mannered, and never go there when you shouldn't really. Just wait for them to get in touch with you, and you will find some permissions. But the good old walking down the lanes and seeing a farmer in his field, or somebody getting his sheep in, or somebody locking the gates, or filling the back of his 4x4, there's no harm in saying, excuse me pal, I'll do this, that, the other, is there any chance that we could have a bit of permission? And if he says no, say no, respect, fair play, don't go back. But for every 4 or 5 you ask, one will say, oh yeah, of course you can, yeah, I've got this that needs doing here. We've just got one up by us, which is, we asked for them. We asked about rabbits actually, and I said we haven't got many rabbits here at all, but our woodland over there is absolutely full of squirrels. You couldn't get rid of them, could you? We was like, yes. So we've just landed there. I ain't even been back up there since. I ain't even looked at the woodland. But we got the numbers. It's full of squirrels, and whenever we want, we can go up there and have them. So happy days. So yeah, ask, word of mouth, ask, and ask somebody who knows somebody who's got something to do with the countryside. There's always a way. Right then, what's this one? That was from Christopher Holland. This is from Jet Shimizu. Not a catapult question. Well, this is going to go down well, isn't it? But could you make a lurcher training video? I have an 11-week-old lurcher by the name of Panzer, and there is a massive lack of lurcher training resources out there. I saw your pups retrieve and would love to do that. Would love some advice. My pup's probably gone a little. She's 18 weeks now, 4.5 months, so she's probably gone a bit far to start learning the videos. Well, start doing videos from. I should have done it from a pup. Mine is retrieving now, coming back, doing all sorts, staying by command. A video I would recommend on YouTube. There's 3 parts to this video. It's called Purdy's Progress. Purdy as in the way you would spell it from 101 Dalmatians, and then Progress. It's a 3-part video, probably about an hour, all in with the 3 parts, and it is absolutely awesome. It's faultless. Purdy's Progress. That video is just, you know, if you never had lurchers before, you could get a puppy lurcher, and if you follow that and put the time and the effort in, you will have very good working literature from that video. I've watched it several times and it's absolutely brilliant. So Purdy's Progress, check it out. Bit of an old film, well, an old 3-part film, but it's on YouTube and it's the way to go, to be fair, if you want to train your literature. So then we're on 55 minutes. Jesus, I've rambled, haven't I? That was from Jet Shimizu. Right then, laws. John Deere fan has sent laws. This is a quick one to answer. Around a couple of months ago, I put a video on called the Catapult the Laws, and I've covered everything. It's a long video. It's covered stuff. I've even quoted stuff from the Hunting Act 1986, this, and Act 451, stuff from the House of Commons, stuff what the Royals do. So check my videos. It's on my channel, Catapult the Law, and it answers everything, pretty much everything there is. Right then, this one, oh, it's a long comment. This is got David Emmanuel Segundo Rubio. Hi John, how fast does a 9.5 steel travel from the pocket poacher and single bands? Well, that depends what single bands. I sell my singles as standard at 20mm straights. You can still achieve 200 FPS at them, you know, providing you pull on max. If you have a long draw, which you could specify, you can have 220, 230. In the summer you can hit 250 with 20mm singles. So that's the speed for them. Excuse me a sec. And you also asked if I could crony test using 8mm steels. Well, I personally wouldn't shoot 8mm steels because they're just silly light. They're no good in competition because you need 9.5. They're no good for hunting. Although pigeons can get took quite easily with 8mm steel, so they're not nothing I'd do or crony. So I'm sorry, but 8mm steels I won't be cronying. But hopefully I've answered your question about the 9.5s in the pocket poacher. Diablo, do you like PFS catapults? I have a strong opinion on pickle fork catapults, and I could talk about it for ages. What's the point? You're using a catapult with a fork gap what the ball doesn't fit through. That's like building a bridge for a car what the car wouldn't fit through. What is the point? Why build something that makes it awkward so you have to tweak and stuff over it? It's just, there's no point. It's a narrow forked catapult, and excuse me, and where does a pickle fork stop? I've seen people recently on the group saying, "Oh, look at this pickle fork catapult. The bloody fork gap's that wide." And I'm like, mate, I do loads of normal catapults with a gap, you know, smaller than that, and they're saying, "Oh, look at this. I can shoot this with a pickle fork," and they're shooting something this wide. It's, in my opinion, the crap. And I wouldn't recommend using one for anything. And a lot of people might say, oh, that's a bit harsh because people want to promote pickle forks and that, but what the bloody hell is the point in them? The biggest pile of crap that ever it catapults, in my opinion. But I'm honest, and I hope you expect my honesty. So there. Well, that was from Diablo, that one. Next question from Liblaze. What's the best way to shoot a pickle fork gangster? The best way to shoot a pickle fork gangster? To that, turn it gangster, then get off over the bush. Now I'm only joking. I've had a couple of dabbles shooting one with gangster. One sec, let me just talk to my daughter. She said, Izzy, I'll come and see you within 5 minutes on my last couple of questions, okay? 2 minutes, darling, cheers. What's the best way to shoot a pickle fork gangster? What you do, you shoot it gangster. Obviously tilt the forks forward a bit. What you do is you tweak the pouch so when you let go it creates a little bit of a speed bump and then it shoots round. I ain't got no videos on it because I've got no time for pickle forks. I don't see the point in shooting something like I said that you have to do this and do that and do that. It's just stupid. It's like I said, building a bridge for a car that don't fit. It's like building a car and having a steering wheel that when you turn that way it has to turn that way because you have to do all these little changes to make it work. Just, well, everybody's got their opinions. Pickle forks, avoid them. Charlie Hunter has said, what have you killed, John? And keep up the good work on this channel. What have I killed? Well, there was 3 men last year. A woman, I'm joking, obviously. I'm obviously messing. What have I killed with a catapult? Bloody hell, where does this start? I've got to be careful what I say here as well, because I'm doing this in one clip. Pheasant, squirrel, rabbit, magpie, crow, jackdaw, Never done a partridge, a snipe or a woodcock. There's plenty of others. I've done a few rats when I'm out night fishing because you can sit there, so rats. I've done other stuff I can't think off my head. Never done a grouse, but I want to get a grouse, but there's no grouse by me. Squirrels. A jay, I've shot a jay, obviously. They're a lovely looking bird, but they're a pest bird. They're raid nests. And I've got one or two things that's just come into my mind now, which I can't say on here, because if I did I'd probably get locked up, so I can't say them. But yeah. Anyway, well, we're at the end anyway. The last question, I can't really answer this because it's only got one speed. Sairo Batul says, what speed do you put your jigsaw on? Can you please answer? Well, my jigsaw's only got one speed. It's a Black & Decker orange one, and I rarely use it. I just use it to rough cut out wood before I hit the bandsaw, and it's just got one speed, so I'd say standard. And that's it. That's all my questions done. I've rambled on for an hour. Sorry it took so long, but I've got through it as quick as I could. I'll probably give it another month, and I'll do another questions video like this, because we've had a lot of interest in it, and hopefully this video could, you know, if you're a newbie and you don't know what to look for or what buttons to look for, don't know this on the lure, don't know what frame, don't know this, that, the other, it's probably a good video to watch, to be fair, because you'll learn a bit. Like I said, I don't know everything. There's loads of stuff I don't know. There's probably stuff I've said in this video that people won't agree with, but I've got like 20 years shooting experience, 20 years making experience. I've won more UK titles than pretty well than everybody in the UK. Nobody's won as much. I hunt regular and drop game, so I have got experience in what I do. I'm always using different stuff. I'm out shooting at least every other day, so this is my advice basically. Yeah, I'm going to cut the camera off now, and if you want to do any follow-up comments on your comments, and we'll take it from there. Cheers all the best.